If you want to make some picks on your favorite sports, check out Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game where you choose higher or lower on between 2 to 8 players and can win up to 325 times your entry. And using code ZIRK when you sign up, you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a free pick.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
We need to talk about these Super Bowl game day players, but also there's a Blitz promo coming. I do want to give a shout out to Frank for being a part of the Noti Gang. If you guys want a chance, shout out the next video, drop a like in the vid, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, notification bell on, comment below, Noti Gang. Also guys, today is Friday, which means we are 2 days away from the big game, and if you guys have not already checked out Underdog Fantasy, now is your final chance to get in before the NFL season is over, and if you guys check out Underdog right now using only code ZIRK, you guys are going to get 2.5 free picks that you can only get with code ZIRK, and up to $1,000 in bonus funds. Not just that though, check out the Underdog lobby. You should see this boosted profit boost pack, which personally I put $1,000 on to win over 3,000 if it hits. I also have a bunch of other picks up on my Twitter. You guys can check those out. I will also do halftime picks for the game as well, but not just that, you guys also have a no sweat token live in your Underdog lobby. If your entry loses, you get your money back as bonus funds. Don't miss out. Check out Underdog, use code ZIRK. So guys, before we get into anything else here, just a very quick reminder that the EA stream is tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/EAMaddenNFL, to get that 94 overall Darrington Evans for free. You just have to watch the stream for 45 minutes and make sure your account is linked on Twitch. You can find that under settings and connections, easy in there. But I am actually recording this video here Thursday late night, so I just didn't know if I'm gonna have another video throughout the day for you guys to remind you again. But yeah, the stream is on at 7, don't miss out. Before we get into these Super Bowl players, guys, and actually talk about the objectives, which ones I think could actually hit and everything, we need to talk about this. There is a Super Bowl Blitz event coming. Now, I will tell you, I did wait purposefully until after 7 p.m. Eastern time to start recording this video. It's actually almost 9 p.m. Eastern when I'm recording this, because I wanted to see if maybe EA was going to announce this. But as of the second that I'm recording this video, they never did. Now, it is possible that we see something maybe pop up in Madden Ultimate Team throughout today or sometime this afternoon. I don't really know, but I would imagine that EA is going to announce this. But we actually did get a tweet from MuttLeaks about a Super Bowl Blitz event. Now, if you guys have been playing Madden Ultimate Team, you know what a Blitz event is. Obviously, with the Black Friday promo, we always get these. Essentially, it could be just offers. We don't know. But we always know there's going to be offers. Usually there tends to be players and stuff as well. But I think at bare minimum, we're going to be seeing offers here, which we have some leaks from MuttLeaks that actually tell us about new players coming too. So in terms of what day is this dropping, how many releases are there going to be, you know, what time intervals of everything, I have absolutely zero information on that. So we'll just kind of wait and see today, maybe if something pops up, or if they mention on the stream tonight at 7 possibly. But yeah, just be prepared in case you were going to spend any points. There's going to be some pretty good offers coming. As you guys can see, we have the 90s Cowboys Diamond offer, which we actually know what that is. We'll talk about that in a second. The Packers Cheesehead Diamond offer. We also do have right here the Super Bowl Diamond LTD. These are all, I would imagine, going to be offers. The Super Bowl Present Opportunity, and then we have the Grand Super Bowl Duo Champ Fantasy, as well as the Enhanced Platinum Elite Fantasy. This one, as you guys know, I love Platinum offers. This one, to me, seems like it could be crazy, depending on what's in it. But if this pack is like multiple 84 plus Platinums or even higher, that could be insane. Now, the only other thing, as of the time that I'm recording this video, guys, that MuttLeaks did tweet out was this right here. But this does confirm that we have got some players coming that, again, are actually not in the game right now. So you would assume that EA is going to do some sort of reveals for these. But as you can see, contains your choice of either a Packers Cheesehead Diamond Pack or a 90s Cowboys Diamond Pack. Now, I'm going to guess, guys, these are probably $100 offers, okay? Because if you get the Packers one, you get a 96 overall LTD Reggie White. Currently, Reggie White only has a 94 overall as his highest, which, by the way, this is like his 4th limited or something like that. It's crazy, Reggie White, how many cards he's getting. Also, you get Ray Nitschke and Herb Adderley. Then, for the Cowboys, there's Diamond LTD Emmitt Smith. Also, Emmitt Smith, though, has a team diamond, but that's a 95 overall. So, again, this is going to be some sort of different Emmitt Smith. And then you get Dion cornerback and Dion wide receiver. So that's the only leaks we got, but we do know there are special offers going to be coming. Don't know what day yet. Don't know what times. It's going to be multiple drops. It's just going to be Super Bowl Sunday morning. That I have no information on, but just a heads up, and I will keep you guys posted as I get more info. All right, so now, guys, I want to talk to you guys about these cards right here, the Super Bowl cards, because as you know, a lot of these players can actually potentially get better from what they do in the Super Bowl. Now, I want to tell you this here. I'm pretty much just going to be going through and talking about these cards, but in terms of investing, okay, number one, the limiteds are crazy expensive, okay? Saquon Barkley is almost 4 million coins. Cooper DeJean is 2.5, Chris Jones 1.5, and Mahomes is 2 mil. I don't really think you should necessarily invest in these cards, okay? Just gonna say that. If you want to, go for it, okay? If you want to. I don't know anyone that invests in 4 million coin cards expecting them to get even more expensive, especially given their auto starting on X Factors literally go away on the 13th, so that makes them less valuable. In terms of the Super Bowl present champions, by the way, in terms of investing in these cards, there's also an issue with doing that. And the issue with doing that is that there literally is a set to get a 95 overall. The only thing you could possibly do would be invest into the 92s if you wanted to, and hope they go up in price, but honestly, in terms of investing whatever, I'm out. I'm not going to be doing it on these cards. What I'm going to be doing, though, is just straight up going through here and telling you guys which of these I actually think could potentially get even better. And of course, as you guys know, I do underdog picks literally daily. I spend hours doing research, and specifically for the Super Bowl, I spent like 4 hours researching the game. I do a lot of deep diving stuff here, which is why I've done so good in the playoffs on Underdog. Hopefully we can cash in on that Zirksee pack and more. That being said, let's actually talk about these cards and go through them and see which ones do I think could actually hit here. Just to kind of talk about it. You guys let me know down below what you think about it. But Cooper DeJean, do I think the Eagles will get 7+ passes defended? To be honest with you, this one's actually a little bit harder than you may think, because obviously that would require the Chiefs to have to throw the ball quite a bit. However, I do think the Chiefs are going to throw quite a lot. Mahomes on Underdog is set at 36.5 passing attempts, which he's currently favored to go lower on that, with his completions favored to go higher than 23.5. So essentially, if you kind of look in between the numbers there's about 13 of a difference, maybe even less than that they think Mahomes is going to throw incompletions, and 7+ of those are going to have to actually be either intercepted, swatted, batted, whatever, by the Eagles defense. It's going to be a little bit difficult actually to do this one. Also factor in that this is a perfect weather condition game because it is going to be inside. And yeah, 7+ passes defended. Not saying impossible, but definitely I would say probably not in their favor to actually get that done. Next up, Cooper DeJean, 4+ tackles. Well, DeJean only did that in 5 games this year, and according to Underdog, he is favored to go lower than 3.5 tackles. So yeah, that one as well. If it's straight up tackles and not tackles plus assists, also probably not going to get it, to be honest. As for the interception or 3 passes defended, he didn't have a single game this entire year with 3 passes defended, and also Mahomes is favored to not throw an interception in the big game, so yeah, I don't know about that. This one is also if Cooper DeJean gets 1 interception and 5+ tackles. Again, I don't really think this card's going to get much better, if at all. Then we have Saquon Barkley. Will the Eagles rush for 150+ yards? Well, on Underdog, Saquon's yardage is at 114, while Jalen Hurts is at 38, which is just perfectly over 150 yards as of this very second. And I will tell you, it's going to be kind of hard for the Chiefs to necessarily shut down Saquon Barkley, and I personally think that Jalen Hurts is going to be running a lot. I'm actually not big on Saquon necessarily, but I am all over Jalen Hurts with his rushing attempts, and I think Jalen Hurts can have a big rushing game, so to be honest, I could totally see that happening, and that would result in Ankle Breaker becoming 2 AP or Leapfrog becoming 0 AP. So decent there. If Saquon gets 50+ receiving yards, his yards are 12.5 receiving. I don't see that happening unless he just breaks one of the house. If Saquon rushed for 100 yards in the first half, I don't see that happening either. And then if Saquon scores a 75+ yard rushing TD, no. Just not going to happen versus the Chiefs. So in my opinion, the only one that could possibly happen would be this. On to Chris Jones, we have this right here. If the Chiefs get 4+ sacks, he gets -1 AP to these abilities. Interior threat would be 0, relentless would be 1. Will be pretty nice. I'll tell you right now, on Underdog, Jalen Hurts right now is a 0.85, I believe, to take 3+ sacks. Pause. That being said, I could actually see that happening. For sure, I could see that happening. If Chris Jones gets 1 tackle for a loss, you had 0 AP secure tackler. I could obviously see that happening. It's Chris Jones. He most certainly could get a tackle for loss. Then if Chris Jones gets a sack, you had 1 AP double or nothing. Again, kind of risky, but not necessarily risky, but you could get that from Chris Jones, obviously. This one is going to be the hardest one. A sack, force, fumble, and fumble recovery all in one play. 2 AP unstoppable force. Don't bank on it. I would say out of all these, though, the two that I obviously like the most would be either the tackle for loss, which, by the way, a sack would count for a tackle for loss, I do believe, and then also Chiefs get 4+ sacks. I could see him getting 3 of these. And we have Patrick Mahomes. If the Chiefs score 24+ points, he gets -1 AP to these abilities, which would be very nice to get Howard Master for 0 or Gunslinger for 1. They are favored to score 24+ points. If Mahomes throws less than 18 incompletions, again, as I told you guys, he's favored to go lower than 36.5 attempts. Favored to go higher than 23.5 completions. So, in there is only a difference of 13, and I don't think he's going to throw 18 completions. I personally don't think he's going to throw 18 incompletions or higher, so I think that 0P gift wrapped, I think that's going to happen. I really, really do. By the way, the 18 incompletions here, if he somehow doesn't get this, that likely means Cooper DeJean got those 7+ passes deflected. If Patrick Mahomes scores 2 touchdowns in the first half, now he is favored on Underdog. It's a 0.8 for him to throw 2 touchdowns. But I'm not big on it necessarily, and I don't think he's going to do it in the first half. So, yeah, I'm not really big on that. Also, it's only 3 AP running gun, and then if Mahomes throws for 380 yards... Mahomes is only at 253.5, which I could see him going higher than that, but 380, that's a stretch. Next, we have the champions, guys. Oren Burks, 40 solo team tackles for the Eagles, and he gets -1 AP to these abilities. I'll tell you this, they've done it in 2 of 3 playoff games. It obviously would require the Eagles to probably score quickly or not be able to score and just very quickly punt the ball. Essentially, we're going to need to see a lot of Chiefs possessions and long, basically, drives here. I will tell you the last time the Eagles and the Chiefs played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they didn't get that. As for this one right here, Oren Burks getting 5 tackles in the first half. Getting 0 enforcer. Right now, he's set at 5.5 solo tackles for the entire game. So, yeah, I don't know about that. He also right here, if he forces a fumble or gets 8+ tackles, he'll get 2 AP Avalanche. Again, he set at 5.5 on Underdog. Currently, no favoritism on higher or lower there. Forcing a fumble, he only has 2 of those this entire year. So honestly, not really big on any of these. This is going to be the closest, obviously, but it's going to be really close. Next up, guys, we have Nolan Smith. Now, if the Eagles get 7 tackles for loss, he gets -1 AP to these abilities. I'm going to tell you guys right now, last week, you all saw, okay, actually 2 weeks ago at this point, versus the Commanders. They dominated the Commanders. They only had 4 tackles for loss in that entire game. That doesn't necessarily bode well facing off against the Chiefs, who necessarily don't have, as much of a scrambling quarterback like Jaden Daniels was. But 7 tackles for loss, that's not going to be easy to do, and I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to get that done. As of right here, Nolan Smith get a sack in the first half. You edge threat for 0 AP. I will tell you, I think Nolan Smith could get a sack this game. He's only a 1.13 multiplier on Underdog to get a sack, which for a defensive player, that's pretty high. I will say that. I could definitely see him getting a sack and possibly even getting it in the first half. So honestly, that one has a decent chance. 2 sacks and 5+ tackles. He has 2 sacks in 1 game this entire year. I don't see that one. On to Devontae Smith. He gets -1 AP to all these abilities right here if the Eagles have 3 20+ yard receptions. I've already talked about this. I actually like this to happen, to be honest with you. As of right now, Devontae Smith on Underdog is at 20.5. I believe A.J. Brown's at 24.5. And then I believe Dallas Goedert is currently at 18.5. I think all 3 of them could easily have 20+ yard receptions, or they could even just see multiple from one of these wide receivers, Devontae or potentially A.J. Brown. Of course, Saquon out of the backfield could catch one, take it 20+ yards. So I actually think that is going to happen. 50+ receiving yards in the second half for Devontae. His yardage right now is right around 50 on Underdog. So 50+ in the second half, really tough to get that. And then a 60+ yard touchdown or 100+ receiving yards, no. And on to Jalen Hurts. 3+ rushing touchdowns. You get -1 AP for gift wrapped, which is still 0. Gunslinger would be 1 and Trails would be 1. That would be really, really good for this card. Do I think they can do it? Honestly, yes, I do. I am super big on Jalen Hurts getting a rushing touchdown. I have him on the Zirk pack and a bunch of other picks as well. Saquon is a super heavy favorite to get in too. I could see Hurts getting 2 himself, to be honest. If Jalen Hurts rushed for 30+ yards in the first half, 0 AP jukebox. You would think maybe I'd say no to this, given that Hurts' yards are like 38, I do believe. I think he can get it, to be honest. I really do. I think he could have a couple of big scrambles in that first half. I'm not counting him out of this one. And then if Hurts passes for 300 plus, this really comes down to if the Chiefs can actually shut down the run game of Saquon Barkley, which my personal thinking with this game, I think they will. I think they will find a way to kind of slow down Saquon. I don't know if they'll stop him fully, but they will slow him down. And Hurts' yards on Underdog are only 213. I believe I took that higher on a pick, and I still like it higher than that. 300 plus would be very hard to get to, but I'm not ruling it out. I think Jalen Hurts could honestly possibly get all these. As for George Karlaftis, if the Chiefs have 2+ defensive turnovers, he gets -1 AP to all these buckets, which would be really big for Unstoppable Force. I could see it, but I know Jalen Hurts is favored to not throw an interception. They could definitely still throw an INT, and then they would need to force a fumble, which could possibly be on Saquon or Jalen Hurts. I think it's unlikely, could happen. 2+ tackles in the first half. So far in the playoffs, guys, George Karlaftis has 4 and 5 total tackles in those 2 games. So can he get 2 in the first half? Honestly, I could see that happening, and that would be 0 AP secure tackler. And the final one is 2+ sacks and a forced fumble. You get 5 AP Colossus. If he does this, holy crap. The only thing not boding well for this is that George Karlaftis, 0 forced fumbles the entire year. So it had to be his first one of the year. Then we have Jalen Watson, that the Chiefs have 7+ passes defended for -1 AP in these buckets right here. Again, I think it's going to be very hard to do, okay? I believe in the playoffs they had 3 last week, only 3 versus Josh Allen, and 5 the week before versus Houston. That's going to be really tough. 1 passes defended, 2+ tackles in the second half. Now, Jalen Watson, guys, has literally had 2 or less tackles in his last 5 of 6 games. Just kind of put that in perspective, but he is actually favored to get 3+ tackles, so not impossible. The pass defend might be actually be the harder one, and then an interception and 3 tackles. Again, he's favored to get 3 tackles. Can he intercept Jalen Hurts? We have Kareem Hunt. If the Chiefs halfbacks have 100+ receiving yards, is insane. He gets -1 AP, which would put Truz at 2 AP, which would be super good for this card. I just don't see it happening. I believe the combined total of Kareem Hunt, Pacheco, and Samaje Perine right now is sitting at like 25 yards receiving, okay? Unless Perine takes one up the sideline, which I did take him higher than 6.5 receiving yards. I really like that. But I don't know about 100. That's going to be kind of crazy. If Kareem Hunt gets a rushing touchdown in the first half, 0 AP jukebox, he is now the goal line back. So this could happen. And then right here, 2 30+ yard rushes. Absolutely no way. Next up, we have Travis Kelce, and this is the final one, guys, for -1 AP in his ability bucket, which would then put third down threat at 0, grab and smash at 2. 25+ receptions. As I said, Mahomes is favored to go higher than 23.5 completions, and he did have 25+ completions in 9 out of 18 games this season. I think actually this is going to happen. I think that will happen there. If Kelce catches 3 passes in the first half, he gets 1 AP slot-o-matic. Now, Kelce hasn't done that, I believe, in the last 3 straight games, but again, he did that in 9 out of 18 games this season. So I think it's very likely. Also, I will let you guys know, I like Kelce higher than 5.5 receptions in the game, simply because the Eagles get targeted a lot in the slot, and Kelce runs a lot out of the slot, him and, of course, Hollywood Brown and also Xavier Worthy. As for the final one, 2 touchdowns or a 20+ yard TD, this is just straight up luck here. I think it's likely that he does get into the end zone. I think it's very, very possible he gets in the end zone. 2 touchdowns, that's a stretch. Will it just be a 20+ yard touchdown? He'll have to break away, to be honest. So, wouldn't bank on that one, but I could definitely see that happening, and I could definitely see that happening as well. So, those are kind of my thoughts on these players. Like I said, I don't really necessarily think it's worth investing into any of them, because the set you can just do, and the limiteds are millions of coins already. So, with that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you drop a like in the video, and of course, hit that sub button down below. I'll keep you guys posted on the Super Bowl Blitz, and if we get any sort of information about that, I'm sure this was a pretty long video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, check out these.